Hey guys, it's the Chinist. Today is December 27th, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. Here is my stack of 15 total with 14 different titles. So I should have had two more. I was missing Fujitsu as well as, what was the other one? Hawkman Returns. So yeah, I'll pick those up tomorrow. So starting off on the DC run, we have The Flash. So yeah, The Flash is one of my most favorite titles at this point in time. For current titles going on right now. Man, excellent stuff from, issue number 1 all the way through. So what you have here is a upgrade, so to speak, for the rogues. You have a new speedster coming along, which is actually Godspeed. So Godspeed was that antagonist that from the very, very first story arc when Flash Rebirth kind of kicked off, which you see the guy right here. So yeah, man, pretty cool. So that, the rogues always been a very central part of the Flash storyline. So cool to see them get an upgrade. So yeah, cool stuff, The Flash. Alright, next up we have a continuation of the Super Sons of Tomorrow Part 3, Teen Titans. So yeah, love this series. All of the characters I really love, but Damian is a very, very focal point for me, man. I love that guy. So yeah, man, anything with Damian and John at this point in time, Jonathan, man, great stuff. So you have this continuation of Tim Drake from a future alternate timeline, I think. At this point in time, they haven't explained too much, but what you have is, he's come back, and again, this entire story arc is trying to kill Jonathan here. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. You also see that Jonathan also picked up a new power that the new 52 Superman that died, and I guess the new Superman kind of rebirth kind of, I guess, absorbed him or something along that line. But you see that he actually has that solar flare power. So yeah, man, pretty cool stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. Whenever Superman from New 52 used that. So yeah, man, Teen Titans, man. If you are into the Jonathan storyline, you need to be picking up all the titles that kind of cross over here. Okay, next up, Batman Creature of the Night. So pretty cool concept here. So what you have is kind of like a more real world Batman. And so this is kind of set like an our world to where Batman is nothing but a fictional comic book character. And coincidentally, in this timeline, or in this alternate reality here, you have this guy, his first name is Bruce, his last name is Wayne Wright. So it's Bruce Wayne, in a sense. And there's so many, similarities between the Bruce Wayne comic book world and his real life. His real life, his parents were killed. And due to that, what you have is he has some sort of power to project this other entity, this Batman that he's kind of, the Batman that he knows from the comic book world, he, projects it somehow. They haven't, gotten into that, but it's kind of like a separate entity to where, he projects it, and throughout the night, this creature, fights crime, and when they come back, he kind of does like a mind meld and kind of like downloads to see like kind of what happened and what this creature saw. So man, very, very cool concept, like another complete different take of Batman. Pretty cool stuff. Batman Creature of the Night. Alright, Doomsday Clock. Man, so this is issue number 2 of 12. This is going to take a year, to come out. Great storyline, man. Jeff Johns is knocking out of the park right now, in my opinion. That number 1 was excellent, and I suggest you read it a couple times just to kind of pick up everything. But the way that they're kind of bringing in the Watchmen, the way that they left off that last story arc, it's completely, the very next year, so to speak. Great job, man. He really picked up where they left off, and they left it in an excellent traditional way, in my opinion. So yeah, so this is, kicking it off to where, that Dr. Manhattan left to another, in the movie, it seemed like he went to like, maybe back to Mars or like another planet. But here you find out it was actually another universe. And so you have the previous Ozzy, the Egyptian god, so to speak. He builds a time machine, like a parallel dimensional warp deal, to come to try to chase down Dr. Manhattan. So this whole thing is chasing down Dr. Manhattan to try to right their own world. And at this point in time, it's pure nuclear war at this point in time. So yeah, man, cool stuff. You kind of see, what's kind of happening. A little bit more tells of Dr. Manhattan. You kind of see like he's always been around, but may have been masquerading as someone else. So man, cool stuff, man. I suggest you get into the Doomsday Clock if you like to watch. All right, so next up from Marvel, we have SpiderMan Renew Your Vows. Man, love this, the family concept, this alternate reality that they did here with the overall Peter Parker family. This single issue kind of deals more, even though they kind of fight as a family and they kind of come back to it at the end. This one kind of deals more, a little bit more with Mary Jane, kind of like her suit, her powers, and I don't know, maybe her questioning, her being a superhero, and I don't know, just delving a little bit deeper into her, what makes her tick. So man, love the story, man. Great concept between the family, the Spider family. Man, love it. So yeah, SpiderMan Renew Your Vows. Okay, next up, XMen Blue. So, as I said, I'm picking up all the X-Men titles right now. Love them all. They're each one is a little bit different, depending on what you like on the different X-Men timeline. I think each title kind of like picks like little things, the best of the best, in my opinion. I love it all, but I can definitely see some titles, some people, gravitating towards X-Men Gold over Blue, or, more towards Astonishing. Anyways, picking them up all at this point in time. So you have the time-displaced team going back through time, trying to get back to their place, trying to get back to their own world, and they're, again, they're time-displaced, in other times. So they've traveled to 2099, and what you have is a little skirmish between the students of the Xavier Academy in 2099 versus our original team that's time-displaced. Great battle. I remember. I remember all these characters from from reading through previously when I picked up the 2099 titles. Didn't enjoy those too much, but great skirmish, pretty good dialogue. So yeah, man, good stuff. Again, each title kind of has its pros and cons, but pretty good action in this one. Good storyline. This is like the true essence of X-Men, in my opinion. Okay, Star Wars Storms of Crait. So this is like a little one-shot, and for those of you who have seen the movie, this is that planet at the very end, or I'm sure that everyone has seen the trailer of that red planet that has like a salt, that white crust, and below it is that red crystal. So man, cool planet. So this one kind of sets up that storyline of how they got there. How did they choose that rebel base? So this is after Hoth. They've been defeated on Hoth, and they're looking for another base at this point in time. So this is kind of like that backstory of how that became the rebel base, which is referenced in the current movie. And they even have, I forgot what these little salt speeders are called, but yeah, you see these in the movie as well. That movie, if you have not seen The Last Jedi, oh my gosh, you need to get out there and go see that one. But anyways, the visuals here in this issue, straight from the movie, you get all the red crystal inside the base. Man, I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, again, see the movie, and this is that little backstory there. So yeah. Okay, next up we have Pheonix Resurrection. So this was I think cover D, I believe, not a store incentive. I think it's regular 1-for-1. And I also picked up the Art Germ cover, and I really like the Virgin cover, to where you can see all the detail in her abs. The title Pheonix kind of covers up that detail of her abs, which I thought was, man, amazing. I think I'll try to go find that, put that up here on the side. But yeah, separate to that, I was able to read through the stack, and this title did not impress me at all. I am a Pheonix fan, even not as much as some of the others. I love the storyline, the Dark Phoenix saga, the entire saga, but more focus on the X-Men team itself, not her as like a solo entity, But nonetheless, this one did not really amaze me. I think I was looking for a lot. They hyped this one up quite a bit, her return, and this one, I don't know, did not really do it for me. I don't think I'm even going to pick up, if this goes on to number 2. I can't remember if this was one shot or went on as a miniseries, but I'm definitely not going to pick up number 2 after reading this number 1. But love the cover nonetheless. Okay, next up from Boom Studios, we have Eugenic. So pretty cool concept overall. This is just a 3-issue. This is the part 3, so it finishes off here. In each issue, you have like a morphing of the human genome. and each issue is actually separated by 200 years. So this is pretty cool. You know, the way they left off the last one, a little bit different from what I thought it would be, but very, very intriguing nonetheless. So here, by the time you get here, you see that humans are nothing but like a relic. That that subspecies at this point in time, they've they're basically being bred like dogs, for pets, but they basically do not exist on Earth. So you have a retelling of what the humans went through and where this current race, how they came to be, and it's really a retelling from a human museum caretaker explaining it to a younger girl who has never, at this point in time, they don't even teach in school where humans came from. So this is all news to her, and so it's pretty cool. So it's, this issue is pure exposition, but very, very cool concept. And at the end, you kind of see like the cycle kind of repeat in a sense. So yeah, pretty cool stuff in my opinion. Again, just a 3-parter. I would suggest to pick this up in trade. Pretty cool read. Okay, next up, The Tick. Man, so I love this one, really more the cartoon than the actual comic back in the day. But, man, I loved this cartoon when it originally came out. They had that live action that was just, okay, in my opinion. But, man, that cartoon is what really did it for me. So this comic really, man, was that full essence of what I loved in the cartoon. So there's a lot of great humor in here. This is really like a spoof of the overall superhero genre. And, you have this this guy's like the cleanest Superman you could ever, imagine. And, but not very intelligent. But, his heart's always in the right place. Great humor. If you're not aware of The Tick, I kind of suggest you go out and go find that #1, because I thought that the storyline so far is great. So yeah, The Tick. Okay, next up from the Image run, we have Redneck. Love this title. So Donny Cates, man, he is hitting it out of the park for like almost every title he's writing right now. I'm a fan of pretty much almost all of it. So what you have are, vampires that live in modern world today, and this community is really in West Texas, in the small, cities out in Texas. I'm from Houston, Texas, so really relate to to this background here. So the overall family here has been displaced, and you kind of see them still kind of struggling to get along from the day-to-day life. And you also see at the very end, so there's a couple clans that are out there, and you see I guess a butting of the heads. So man, great stuff. You always want to kind of find out, where this family is going, man. These characters they've developed here, man, I've been a fan, man, day one. This has been a really good title in my opinion, Redneck. Okay, next up, Void Trip. So pretty cool stuff here. So #1, I was expecting just a little bit more, to tell you the truth, but interesting nonetheless. I did subscribe to it. So this is issue #2. 2 main characters. Yeah, this is character #1, really kind of based really more around her than anything else. But you have this, just wild drug trip, throughout space. And they kind of set up. There is a little backstory line, but this is more entertaining than storyline in my opinion. This is very heavy metal-esque in my opinion. So all those weird stories that I grew up kind of reading in heavy metal that I love. This is kind of like the essence of it in my opinion. So yeah, man, if you're a great heavy metal fan back in the past, highly suggest for you to pick up that #1, see if you like it or not. But pretty cool, great artwork and storyline, pretty cool. I wish there's a little bit more visual tripping in here, but cool concept nonetheless. Okay, next up from Valiant, we have Eternity. So, man, pretty cool stuff. So this is #3. It's only a 4-parter. I am not too much of a fan of the cosmic scene, to tell you the truth. If you are, I believe that you will love this. I think I'm in the minority, on that note. I think most people who enjoy Valiant love the Divinity series. But I don't know, man, not too much of a fan. I'm going to go ahead and finish off since it's only 4-parter. I'm going to pick up number 4. But what you have here are the Russian cosmonauts who went off, they became divinity, and they've had a child together, and they are seeking out the child. And, so they're going from kind of like universe to universe, or reality to reality, I guess you could say, in search of their child, and they get into a skirmish. So, man, good fight, good artwork. I'm just not too much of a fan of the cosmic scene. But if you are, this is for you. Eternity. Okay, last up for you, we have EXOM Manowar. So this one's pretty cool. So EXO is not really in this title too much. What you have is kind of like a showcase of bounty hunters who are going to be going after EXO. So this entire issue kind of sets up, some of these bounty hunters kind of explaining their back history, who they are, where they came from. You really set up that they're all, badass, so to speak. They stand up individually, and they're all going to be going after EXO. So again, really cool. I really expect pretty good fight scenes coming up here in the future issues here. So yeah, looking forward to that. So that's going to be it for this week's Brandy Haul, guys. If you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.